Welcome to Learn to Win Success Radio, where one great idea can change your life. Now, here's your host, Steve Sapato.
Like I said, I'm doing a speakers camp this Saturday to see who needs to know what and how much we're going to learn. I think there's 10 of us involved with that. But it's all designed about how to be successful at whatever you do. If you want my help, you want my advice, my job is to help you become more successful. One of those things is through networking. Okay? Networking to me is absolutely the perfect way to build your business. How many people in here would like to make more money? Okay. How many people are willing to do at least one thing to make more money? Okay. You should be taking a professional networking course. All right? Let me give you an example. What's the purpose of your business card? How many people have business cards? Most of us, right? What's the purpose of our business card?
Say what we do.
Contact.
Yeah, information.
Give information. Tell them what we do. Yeah, absolutely incorrect. Right? It is. I don't mind, because I had to learn that myself. Because it was like, hey, check out a business card. Here's my business card. Right? What do we hope happens when we give somebody our business card? That they call us. Do they ever call?
No.
Almost never. So, in truth, take your business card, put it in your pocket, leave it there. And when they say, hey, you have a business card? You go, I sure do. Can I get yours?
Yeah.
And then you take theirs, you write down information about what you've got from it, and you contact them. They will never call you. I've got, if you go to my one website, mentalprosperityblog.com, and if you go there, I have certain things hidden around it. I should say hidden, but you know, they're in those tabs, wonderful tabs. And one of them is why you should never give out your business card again. And I do an hour seminar on why you should never give out your business card. And we go through it, and we go through it in depth. But that's the premise, which is people don't want it. Yep, they'll say they do. Hey, give me your business card. Right? What do they do with it? According to the stats, 7 out of 10 of all business cards ever disappear or thrown away within the first 7 days. 2 of them write down the information, put it in a database. And 1 will put it on the fridge or something and keep it around. I was a real estate appraiser. Some of you heard this the last time I spoke a year ago. I was a real estate appraiser. I was a real estate appraiser for over 20 years. I did other jobs in between because that one was a boring job, easy to do. And while I was a real estate appraiser, I got these wonderful cards made up. You ever think about getting these special, like they advertise specialty cards made with giraffes' heads hanging over them. And I got this one that looked like bubble wrap. Looked like you could just press on it. It was bubble wrap. It was really cool. $1 a piece. Wow. $1 a piece. $250 I spent for 250 cards. I was like, yes! Gave them out. Never got called. 2 years later, I'm in doing appraising this person's house, and it looked familiar. And I went, I think I've been in your house before. And the person I was appraising the house for said, I don't remember. It doesn't ring a bell. And as I'm walking through our kitchen, guess whose business card was stuck on the fridge? Mine. Did she call me when she needed an appraisal? No. I said, hey, you have my business card right there. She said, I know, that's such a cool card. I didn't realize it was yours. Business cards are not to get business. Business cards are for you to contact the person who asks for your business card. Don't give it out unless they ask for it. If you guys don't ask for my business card when I'm down here, I won't give you one. Right? The odds of you contacting me are slim to none. You can look me up on Facebook. You can find me on the web. Guess what my name is on the web? Steve Sapato.
Yeah.
Right? You can find it on my books. If you go to Steve Sapato, you're going to find Steve Sapato has the romantic book. Stephen, with a PH, right, has the Become the Go-To Person for Your Own Success. So if you go to which author you need to look for on Amazon, you will see which one you need to learn about, right? Which one you want to go to. So let's talk about your success. What do you think? You guys interested in that? Okay. What would it take for you to be more successful than you are today? Somebody volunteer. You don't even know. How about more contacts? Would that probably make a little bit and put a few more dollars in your pocket?
Paying clients.
Pardon? Paying clients. That's right, paying. How do you find paying clients? You go to networking organizations, you go to networking groups. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of putting together some networking organizations here in the Sacramento area where people pay to belong to the organization, commit to coming every week, want to form the friendships and the alliances and the bonds that Bruce talked about, right? And that way you have 30 walking billboards every time somebody goes out in the street. Because my book, Become the Go-To Person, whatever I just did with it, right? Yep. Is all about, maybe I don't know who Bruce needs, or I don't know what Bruce needs to be successful today. But I ask him the 5 questions that are guaranteed to get me that information. And when he tells me, I go, hey, Bruce, I can't help you with that today, but would it be okay if I put you in contact with somebody that can? What would you say?
I would say absolutely yes.
And then if I do that with enough people, you know what I get known as? The go-to person. And people will start calling me. And they will say, hey, I don't know, but I bet you Steve Sapato knows. Right? I got a friend in Tampa. Right? He builds websites. His whole thing is to be that person. And when you say, hey, you say, Teo knows. Oh, let me call Teo. Anybody got a question? Let's find out from Teo who he knows who can answer that for us. He always has somebody he can refer to. It's amazing when you become that person how much business. He's now very well off down in the Tampa area. And one of the things down in the Tampa area was a great networking group that is now built to 15 networking groups, because you can only have 30 in each group. And it's because they started talking to each other, forming these alliances that Bruce just told you should do. How many people here have met with somebody in this group in the last 7 days? 3 of us. All right, 3 of us. What about the rest of you? Earlier.
I met with several people, but not from this group.
Okay. How many people met with, for the specific purpose of getting to know someone else in their business, how many people met with someone else in the last 7 days? About a third. The rest of us, that's our job. That's your whole job. You want to build a business? Want to build a successful business? Sit down and learn about his business. Sit down and learn about his business. Sit down and learn about her business. And when I learn about their business, they'll want to know a little bit about yours. We'll share that. We'll talk. We'll get to know one another. And guess what? The next time you walk out, you go to the PTA and say, PTA says, hey, I need a speaker. Right. You go, hey, I need to call Steve. All right, will Steve speak for free to the PTA? Yep, PTA does not make a profit in my knowledge. Right? So would I charge them my typical $2,500 fee to go out and do that? No. Right? I wouldn't. Would I be happy to put my services to their disposal that helps them make more money or be more successful? Yes. Right? What do you want to do to be more successful? What are you willing to do? What can you do? Networking is probably one of the greatest things you can do. And when I network, do I tell people what I do? Almost never. Almost never. Do you guys? Who did I just talk to about her book? Right? And first name again is? Megan. Okay. And I said, Megan, what's your book about? And she told me. Megan, what's your book about? Let's see if she can remember what I told her.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had fear or any self-limiting beliefs about yourself, any beliefs about yourself that held you back from doing something you really wanted to do?
Anybody ever have that problem?
Yeah.
Any fear or self-limiting beliefs stop you from doing what you're doing?
Then you need my book.
Ah! What's her book about? Overcoming self-limiting beliefs and fear. Does she have to tell me that to get me involved? No, she can get me involved by asking me the question.
Right.
I have a course out called QL, the QL method for success. Right? And it's all about questioning and listening. I taught college for 7 years. The kids gave me the nickname that I ended up using on my AOL at that point in time, which was called QL Man at AOL. And it was all about questioning and listening. What I told the students in those days was, you have to question, listen to the answers, question, and listen to the answers. And the reason for that was when I had them doing speeches, they'd come up and say, oh, hey, Dr. So-and-so said this. Well, in my critique afterwards, I go, who's Dr. So-and-so? They go, he's a doctor of something. I go, what is he a doctor of? They go, I don't know. I go, how do you know he's a doctor? He was on the internet. Keep in mind, this is when the internet was fairly new. It's still true today. But he's a doctor. He's on the internet, so he's a doctor. Really? He's a doctor? They go, just because he's on the internet. Well, yeah, you can't put stuff on like I'm a doctor if I'm not a doctor. And I had a fake, in those days I had a fake website because I had learned how to build them myself, HTML. And I said, really, everybody? And they pull out the computers and we'd get on. I'd go, what does that say? And they'd go, Steve Zapato, King of America.
Must be true.
It's
on the
true. And
internet.
they go, well, that's not true. I go, what do you mean? It's on the internet. It must be true. It's just like that guy's a doctor.
Yeah.
What I taught them was in the 60s, a 60s child, is that we were taught not to trust anybody over 30. We were taught to question all the motives and the whole things that were happening. That's what I want you to do. Question every time you hear something. Question. But I want you to get good at questioning. I want you to be able to say, what do you do for a living? How long have you been doing it? You like doing it? Are you successful doing it? What's your greatest challenge in doing it? You know, if you can get somebody to answer that question, what's your greatest challenge? You just went 500% up on being able to help them and make money yourself. If I can find out what your greatest challenge is. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Right now, what's your greatest challenge in your profession? Who wants to volunteer? What's your greatest challenge?
Well, I don't want to be, I just stuck my hand up just because it's out of habit. So.
I like that. I like that.
I'm really, my head is, I'm trying to not be a jarhead, you know, that gets filled with the junk. I'm trying to remove it and put all the good stuff in. And it just keeps coming back because I've been hanging around the same people forever.
Yes.
And now I'm starting to, you know, get them aside. I still love them, but I'm getting focused like on Stewart, right? He's my main gig today. Oh, so the challenge is I'm trying to develop the system because the biggest thing I'm involved with now is how do you, if we can help one person a day, why can't we help 100? With high tech and high touch skills we have, I'm not seeing anything employed in the marketplace that can help us marketers really help these people beyond what we're talking about today, but just boom, because we're touching them all anyway. But how can we get to that fifth question and deliver on the minute while we're having a conversation? Not give me a card, I'll talk to you later tomorrow maybe, and then it goes in the trash or whatnot. Anyway, the system is what I've been trying to build, hardware, software, so I can walk and basically be Iron Man. You know, you want to be Jarvis, you know, the real
Sure.
Pepper Potts.
And there's a question right there for you that if he said, right now we have somebody who says, I want to be able to touch 100 people rather than one while I'm walking down the street while I'm talking to you. How do I do that? And most of us would say, nah, that's not possible. Right? That's not possible. I'd have said my phone wasn't possible 20 years ago. How about you? What's possible and what's impossible is only through our own limitations.
Right.
What you can do, what you can't do is only through our own limitations. One of my mentors, Wayne Dyer, matter of fact, I interviewed his daughter Sky just recently on my podcast, The Happiness Agenda. And when I interviewed Wayne Dyer, one of the things he had talked about then was the I am principle, which of course he went on to write and publish. And the I am principle says, I am part of the great I am. And I am capable of anything that I set my mind to. You've heard that many times from many people. And understand that the only thing limiting you is the I am not. The I can't. The I don't think it's possible when you know it is. I tell this story because to me it just epitomizes what my life has been about until I turned about 55 years old. I had a friend when I was very young who said, now keep in mind I lived in Iowa. Right? We had a restaurant that was called the Iowa Machine Shed, big name. And he said, hey Steve, I got a great idea to make some money. I said, go ahead. He said, we're going to make pig keychains. What? I don't think so. He goes, no, it'll be cool. We'll sell them to all the Iowa people. We'll make a lot of money. I went, yeah, no. Came back about a week later. He goes, no, I've got them. He said, it's a pig keychain, but when you squeeze it, poop comes out of its butt. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? What? No. He said, Steve, it's only, I need $1,000. Yeah, no. Not going to happen. Pooping pig keychains. Lunatic. Now, let me ask you a question. You ever seen one? Yeah. Matter of fact, it was about 8 years later I went to Hawaii for the first time. All the ABC stores, have you ever been to Hawaii? Yeah. ABC store, and here's an ABC store, and literally, there's an ABC store. About that part. Every single one of them had pooping pigs, pooping cows, pooping sheep, pooping hippopotamus. And I could have got in for $1,000. He became a millionaire
Yeah.
with pooping pig keychains. And I'm sitting there going, can I still get in? What do we negate that we shouldn't without looking at all the opportunities? What can he figure out? And if he figures it out, how can he change our lives? By giving us the opportunity to join him, by making it possible to connect with 100 people rather than one. Isn't that what Facebook Live is all about? I can connect. Somehow this little camera can connect to Facebook Live, but I'm not sure it could record while I'm doing it other than on Facebook Live. And I wanted parts of it so I could chop it and cut it and use it in other things. All those things allow us to touch other people. Right? And when I touch those people, that's one of the things I want you to understand is when we touch those people, they change. I want you guys to change from this conversation. I want you folks, now I say guys, I got in trouble a few months ago. I said guys and the women went, what? I went, guys, people, right? Friends, neighbors, countries, Romans, whatever. I want you people to understand that everything you see, hear, and do, you can take something positive away from. Stop talking about the negative. I don't care who you vote for president, stop talking about the negative on the other candidate. I don't care who you're voting for. Talk about only the positive of your candidate. You know, if Donald Trump would only talk about the positive of what his candidacy is, how that would change the election.
Yes.
You know, if Hillary Clinton would only talk about the positive, right? Look at what Bernie did with his positiveness. He talked about, this is what we can do. We can change the land. And all these people rose up and said, yes, we can. Well, no, he's out. But a positiveness can change our lives.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask again. What is your greatest challenge in doing your current job? Somebody volunteer.
Opening my mouth.
Talking? And what do you do?
Network marketing.
Network marketing. Okay. Meaning you're part of a networking group. Okay. So why don't you open your mouth?
Just the fear.
Pardon?
Just fear of rejection.
Fear.
Of, you know, just.
Here's the greatest thing I learned a long time ago, right? Could you buy me another drink?
Sure.
Ah!
Yes.
I win. What happens if you say no?
No.
I lose. Bummer. What if I don't ask?
No.
Yeah, I know. I already know. He said you'd never know. I know. If I don't ask you to get me a drink, I don't get a drink.
You don't.
Right? The fear that we have has to be overcome by our absolute belief in where we're going. If I were to ask you, how's business?
It's great.
Great. But you have a fear of talking to people. It's still great. You're making all the money you need to make. I don't need to talk to you. Why do you come? Right? Why do you come?
I would like
Making-
more.
Oh, so you're not making all the money you need to make. Well, maybe all you need to make, qualify. All the money you want to make. Right? So if I say, so you're making all the money you want to make, he says, no. Wow. Right? Well, what's your greatest challenge to making more money? And he still says, opening my mouth, talking to people, spreading the word. What's your goal for this year? You don't have to share it if it's specific, but you have a goal for this year. And when does the year end for you?
2 months from now.
2 months from now. Are you on track to hit your goal? No. Okay. What would it take for you to hit your goal?
Number-wise,
Yeah.
15.
Okay. What would it take to get to that 15?
At least 40 to 50.
40 to 50. Everybody see how that's breaking back down? Let me give you what we're talking about here. I was going to go to Hawaii for the first time. I was married the second time. Going to go to Hawaii the first time. I think I'm behind on one of those. I've been to Hawaii 2 times. I'm married 3 times.
Yeah.
I need to get ahead in Hawaii. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Something in there. So the first time I said, I want to go to Hawaii, my wife and I were probably just getting married, right? We were probably thinking about our honeymoon. Boy, I wish I could go to Hawaii. How many people have ever been to Hawaii? Everybody? Yeah, because you live in California.
Yeah.
Ask that of people in Iowa, they're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But, so you go, yeah, cool, that's great, right? And when I said it, I said, well, I wish we could go, wish we could afford to go. 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years down the road, one of my network marketing friends looked at me one day and said, hey, why haven't you guys gone to Hawaii? I go, we can't afford it. He goes, what do you mean you can't afford it? You got plenty of money. I don't got plenty of money. I ain't got money. Right? He said, no, you should have plenty of money. What are you looking at? I went, I don't. He said, well, how much does it cost to go to Hawaii? And my answer was,
Too much?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? I don't know. He said, what do you mean you don't know? I said, I don't know how much it costs. A lot. He said, well, how do you know you can't afford to go if you don't even know how much it costs? I went, because it costs too much to go. Because that's what everybody around me had told me.
Right.
That's what everybody around me told me. I was surrounded by people who said negative things. I want to go to Hawaii. You can't afford to go, Steve. Wow, okay. Didn't even look it up. He said, let's look it up. Back then it was $2,400 to fly from Hawaii, spend 10 days and fly back. He said, so you can go. I said, I don't have $2,400 extra. Anybody got $2,400 laying around extra? Nobody yet? I haven't found. You know, I've talked to millionaires. They don't even raise their hand. So I said, yeah. So I said, I don't have it. He said, well, give me $1,200 and I'll hold on to it till next year. I said, I don't have $1,200. He says, okay, this is crazy. He said, give me $100 a month. I'll take care of it and make sure you and your wife go in 24 months. And I looked at him and I said, if I had an extra $100 a month, I'd have bought a big screen TV. Because that's where all of my friends' heads were too. We all wanted bigger TVs. We all wanted nicer cars. It wasn't worth going to Hawaii. What was my goal? I didn't really have a goal for Hawaii. I said I'd like to go.
Right.
Once he said this next statement, I went, oh my God, I'm going to Hawaii. He says, let's break that down. He said, how many cups of coffee, my wife was sitting with me, how many cups of coffee do you guys like to go to Starbucks and buy every day? I said, I don't buy Starbucks. Wife went, I usually go once or twice, a week. Type thing. He goes, you get just coffee? She goes, no, I get the lattes and this. He said, how much is it? She went, $5 something. Okay. So she was spending $15 a week on coffee. He said, $15 a week for 4 weeks is $60. He said, Steve, do you buy something like that? I said, well, I buy stuff like that. He goes, okay. So if you all both quit drinking these, $3 a day will get you $90 a month, which puts you in Hawaii 26 months from now. $3 a day. Can you afford $3 a day, Steve? I went, well, yeah. If you can discipline yourself to do what it takes. You got to take that big goal, break it down into a palatable goal. When you're talking about networking, okay, the networking is how many people do I need to meet, in what time frame, in order to build my business. I talk to people who go to these big networking groups. I haven't found one here, but they're like Christmas in July type stuff where there's 500 networkers going to show up.
Nexus.
Pardon?
It's called Nexus.
Nexus, okay. I'll try and look that up. And when we go to these, I would talk to my friends and say, how many people are you looking, what's your goal for this networking? They go, to meet as many people as I can, meet as many people as I can. Really, why? They went, well, because I got to get their names and their business cards and this. I went, how many appointments can you guys swing?
Yeah.
They went, what do you mean? I said, how many appointments can you, if I got an appointment with every person I met there, how many appointments a week can you fit into your schedule right now? And they went, I don't know. I said, well, look it up. Break it down. We'd sit down, go over their calendars. They said, I can fit 5 people in this week and 4 people in next week. I said, so if you got 100 business cards, you couldn't see some of these people till next year. What's your real purpose for going to a networking group? And theirs was to meet 4 or 5 people who will change their business. Your goal is to meet 4 or 5 people. They might be sitting in this room if you haven't met them. Do you know what these people do? Do you know how they do it? Do you listen to what their plans are? You got some great minds in this room. So what I want you to start thinking about is, how many people do I have to meet this year? This is August, right? This August. How many people do I have to meet this year? What's my goal for the number of clients I want to add, for the number of products I want to sell, for the number of, you guys know your business, How many people will make that happen? I can tell you for a fact that mine is 30. Right now, in the next 30 days, I want to find 30 people who want to join a top-notch networking group that meets every week at the same time. You can't miss, right? But it's going to change your business life. If I do that every month, I put together a really good, strong network of people who can help each other every step of the way. My goal is to finish 2 products that I've got coming out for my Learn to Love system on the 25th of this month. Each product takes this much time. That means I have to set aside this many hours every day to design those products so that you can purchase them online. That's what I know every step of the way. How about you? Do you know? Do you know? That's going to be your key. You know that? That's going to be your key to success. Is finding out what you need to accomplish, how you need to accomplish it, and why you need to accomplish it. Don't pretend that I've got this in the bag. Don't say, oh, I know I've got this. I want you to put it on your calendar. I want you to book it in. And then I want you to report back to these guys every month. Stand up and say to them, because they're in on this, say to these people, hey, how are you doing on your goals this month? You don't have to know what the goals are. How are you doing with them? And remind them, because sometimes we forget. You guys ever do that?
Yeah.
I'll just suddenly go, oh my gosh, you know what, I didn't do this, this, or this. So what will you do to accomplish your goals? In networking, when we talk about what it takes commitment to coming all the time. How many people come to this group all the time? A couple.
But half the time anyway.
Okay? Up that commitment. Get to know the people in here. Because if I know what you're selling, marketing, producing, right, trying to do, and he knows and she knows, when we go out, right, we can say, oh, I have the answer, and he's sitting right there. Let me put you in touch with him. How many referrals would change your business? How many clients do you want to add every week or month or year? I've been with some organizations where they just wanted to add 1 giant client a year. Do you know that? 1 giant client a year. This gentleman right here, you guys all know Stuart. You know that he's got a new business. Everybody know he's got a new business. Raise your hand if you know he's got a new business. Some people don't. Okay? His business is car, and I don't want to say car washing because that makes it sound too simple. It's car detailing, but it's taking care of your car. What's it called?
Stewart's Custom Car Care Service.
There you go. What would happen to Stuart's business if I went out tomorrow and met a guy who has a company who has 150 cars that he wants cleaned every single week?
Yeah.
Now he has to hire people just for that client.
Just ran into that problem yesterday.
See? What changes your business? And that's who we connect with. Networking is, I'm out there talking to people. Now let me ask you the question again. I go out to somebody and I walk up to them and I say, hey, how you doing? I'm Steve.
Marcus.
Marcus.
Sir.
Good to meet you, Marcus.
Nice to meet you.
Is that the end, Marcus? Are we done?
No. Just getting started. What do you do?
Ah, there's the first question. Right? First question. First of all, make the handshake positive, powerful. Don't make it a, glad to meet you.
Come on, women, I'll practice.
And Marcus says, what do you do for a living? If I'm as good as I say I am, what's my next question? What's my next move?
Let me ask you a question.
Absolutely right.